Hello everyone, so today I'm going to take you through this tactic I've been using at Sporting. I'm like, season 7 now, my journeyman save, 27, so I just literally just hammered the league. Look, I just won every game. So I just won every game, scored 92 goals and conceded 9, so 102 points. Won both cups, and then we won the Champions League as well, so yeah, it was a good season. I've got quite a good squad. It's only my first season here, but we had a lot of new gens and a few good players that were there. Just, like this. Where is he? He's here at the start. He's been playing there his whole career. You see here, like he's played a 7.93 in total in the league, and then 7.66 average rating in there. 23 goals from central midfield. He was a penalty taker as well, so I'd imagine about 7-8 of them are probably penalties. So let's just go through the tactic then. So what I've done here, so I went back and I watched some like old Ernst Happel highlights of when he was at HSV Hamburg. They won the Champions League, well, what was European Cup then in 1983. So it's quite hard to actually get a bit of information on this. Most people in articles and that just want to write about how he liked to drink in coffee shops and stuff. They don't really want to talk about their tactics, just talk about his life. So this is what I got my made from the game, and then it kind of suited my team a little bit more, just to go the other, sort of invert it and just go the other way. So it's exactly the same, just depends on what players you got where. So this guy's a little bit more creative over here. You see he's got a dribbling of 17 and 15, so it made sense to use him as a bit more of a inverted winger, I thought, as it's a bit more of a creative role. The guy I initially had over here wasn't as creative, that's why I did that, but this guy here is fine. So this is a role that can change. I usually use this as a winger or an inside forward or an inverted winger, depending on, I'll sort of change it in game. But he has the roam from position and he has closed down more, so I kind of just want him coming in. I don't really want him marking tighter up here. Happel, you kind of use this like shadow cover kind of thing. They didn't really stay close to the players. They kind of position themselves in between two players, sort of cut out two passing options rather than just sort of sticking to one player now. It can be a strategy if you want to use that. I mean, I'll show you a tactic. I'll show you the way I sort of set up in the Champions League. It just sort of turned out. It wasn't really planned. It just came like that. So Trek's got no instructions. He's got closed down more as well. So these three, got like that split block going up the top there, and they've just got like a standard line of engagement. So I want to keep the shape fairly compact. So in here in the midfield, so we've got a central midfielder here. What he's going to do, he's going to roam. So basically, he can pop up anywhere in this sort of area, really. Same as the Trek. So generally, what you might get is, just complete forward, a drop back, and a Trek might be in front of him, or the other way around if they're a bit higher up the pitch. And as it comes down a bit lower, obviously the complete forward will be ahead, and then the Trek would drop back in and be ahead of these two. But the Trek can he can appear anywhere along here, and then these guys, because they're roaming, they're kind of moving a little bit. And then because he's roaming, he's not sort of just stuck to this one side of the pitch now. So he's been my top scorer. He's got 23. Most of them have been like sort of from just outside the area, really. Kind of these lot are doing the main sort of stuff, and then it'll just come back out and he'll pop it in, or And then you've got Sandry here. So I did try out a few things on here. I mean, like you can see, opposition goals from long range shots. I wanted to try and sort of close this area a lot down a bit, so I did have him closed down more, but he just kept getting booked all the time, so I've taken that off now because it got a little bit annoying. He's got good tackling and that anyway, so maybe something might change a little bit towards the end of towards the new season, because some of the changes I didn't make till quite late. I mean, it's been a process sort of making it over the course of the year. So the fullback, he's got no instructions. I mean, I did have fullback attack on both sides at one point, but again, there's a lot of yellow cards, and in the Champions League I found I was conceding a lot more goals in the league, so I was sort of cutting back a little bit, and then when you see Happel's sort of side, the fullbacks never really get really high up anyway. They kind of sort of add width to the midfield, and then on the left side here, so one of his fullbacks will cut inside. Sometimes he has it on, when he was at final, they both kind of did it. It wasn't really like an inverted wing back where they sit inside the half channel. They still stayed wider, but they'd get the ball and then they'd kind of just move in a little bit, or they'd play like a long pass from over here. And even if they did come up, they might just be receiving a sort of back pass from, this guy will be up here with the ball and he'll just sort of just pop it back, and then he can sort of whip it in there. He can, he'll do like an early cross. Even without early crosses, you're still going to get the instruction. You're still going to get them now and then. So with the centre backs, I just got one of them as a ball playing defender. I don't mind, again, someone commented on the other sort of the Saki sort of one. I like this. I like having the ball playing defender behind the playmaker, because I find it stops him running out so much. Like, because he's a ball magnet here, he's more likely to come out and just play it to him rather than sort of just run up the field here, lose the ball, and then leave a massive big hole in the middle there. So. And in the same over here, ideally, Grow, or whatever you say his name, Grow, or who played for HSV, you'd get up into this area quite a lot. And I did think about playing a Mazzala, but again, you've got that dribble more and everything, and what I found is he sometimes, where he's up in that area, when the ball was coming back out, there wasn't really anyone there to win the ball or sort of receive the ball. So by having him just as a central midfielder, that sort of just roams in here, he's got, we've got this focused play, so I'll go through that in a minute. But with the focused play, he's going to move outside a bit wider anyway. So I didn't think Mazzala was necessary, and it was a little bit more risky. So this is a much safer option, just having the central midfielder on roam. And again, these two are safer options here. Having that fullback, instead of having wing backs, we're going to push up high, dribble the ball up here, probably lose it, and then leave a big hole here. So imagine if you had a Mazzala there and a wing back there, the ball loses up here. You've got just your centre back to cover. And again, if he's running up there, losing the ball, you're leaving a hole. So I prefer this setup. That's why I do it. I thought I'd explain why I've done that. So with this tactic, it is similar to the Saki tactic I did, purely because Arrigo Sacchi used to go and watch Happel's training sessions, and he took a lot of his elements from Ernst Happel. So if there's similarities in there, that's because there were similarities in their tactics. So I've got a higher line again, and I've kept it sort of quite compact again with the tighter marking. Again, they did use an offside trap. They've done that whole sprint forward thing. I don't like it I don't like offside trap on Football Manager, so I don't anymore, because I just got annoyed with seeing the goals get exceeded. I think I said in another video. We're countering when we get the ball, because we've got the balanced mentality. I want to, get things moving a little bit. Otherwise, you're just waiting for these sort of AI generated counter attacks, and they can take a long time. So it's got distributed here. This doesn't have to be like that. You could just have it there if you wanted, or whatever, however you want it. I just like to sort of spread it across the back a little bit. It usually ends up just going to the centre backs all the time anyway. And then with the goalkeeper here, I've got tape furious, and that's just down to Football Manager this year. I'm fed up with the ball getting up there and then having to, because what happens is they kick the ball up here, and then basically your defence is all set up into a line in its attacking phase, and then all of a sudden they're having to defend, and what happens is you just go kick the ball up here, they get up there, lose it, and then they've all got to sprint back. It's just always, you're just at that sort of risk. I don't know, it's just another risk I think that's unnecessary sometimes, unless it's a strategy you want to take. Say you had a target man up there or something, you want to hit the ball up there, but for me, I just prefer to play it safe and go to there. And so yeah, that's that. This is all done. And then so for the sort of in possession, just keep the ball quiet. Sort of, I want to be quite patient. They was always quite patient with the ball. So lower tempo, all that, like I said before, all that means is that, even if he's on a very attacking mentality, he's attacking, they're still going to wait for the rest of the team a little bit. We're going to attack as a bit of a unit, and then the way I've set up with the support roles, they're going to defend as quite a unit as well. So, it works pretty well. You could call it total football. I mean, Ernst Happel was one of the innovators of total football. A lot of things that are credited to other managers for creating actually were created by Happel. He just, apparently they say he wasn't a good promoter. That's what it was. They said he should have just wrote a book, and he probably would have been more well known. So in the Champions League, then I've taken a little bit of a different strategy. I've just taken that off there just so we can get the ball out to here, just out to the fullbacks. I find they press a little bit higher in the Champions League. I don't want all this too much faffing around at the bottom here. This stays the same. Yeah, so there's just some changes in here. So what I've done there is add the hit early crosses. So we're encouraging the ball to go out hit a little bit more, and then we're just going to get the ball out a little bit wider. I mean, if you wanted, I don't like taking this off, because again, it starts sort of taking that compression away from the team. I haven't got it on narrow or anything, so I want it. I don't want everyone doing too far. I don't want too many long balls going over, but I do want some. So that's why I just keep it on standard. I don't go direct. It's just Well, it wasn't not what I wanted. So with the low crosses, you can have that on as well. But again, I'll just prefer this time, rather than the balls going into here, they're just coming back to the fullback sometimes and crossing them in. So that's why I've added their hit early crosses, just to get a little bit more of that going on. And you've got these two players going to be running in. He'll be running in here. He'll be running in here if, depending on what side the ball's on. So generally one will hang back and one will be up. And then what I've done as well is I've added in the marking as well. So like I said, you can use that as a strategy if you wanted. I found in the Champions League, they are quick. The fullbacks generally, you'll get like 16, 17 acceleration. So I've got two guys here that they're pretty quick, and they can keep up with the fullback. So if you just keep them close to them, you can just pretty much take them out of the game, which is what I did in most of the Champions League games, which made quite a big difference from something I didn't really do in the group stages, and I conceded quite a lot of goals. I still conceded a lot of goals in the Champions League, but I think I probably would have conceded even more and lost the games if I didn't do that strategy. So that's what Dowdgett calls the Iron Maiden. I've been using mark-specific position for quite a while. I didn't really use the player too much, I must admit. So I've started using that a little bit more over the last couple of weeks. Or was it the last week since you've done that? And it works. It works quite nice a lot of time, but it's not something I'm going to use in every game. So there's no other really changes there. What I can, you can do as well is just knock this down, knock that up, or you can change to positive. There's loads of little ways you can tweak it. It's not just like a plug and play. You don't just, I've seen a couple of people test it on holiday mode and stuff. I mean, sometimes it can work, but I wouldn't say that's the best way to sort of test the tactic, because you're going to come up against different formations. Sometimes you're going to need a slightly different strategy each time you play a different team, and you just need to make small little changes. And it's quite surprising how much like a small change can really change the game. Sometimes you just change one thing on your tactic, and all of a sudden you come from behind and you're winning. So. Again, this can go positive. I haven't tried it with a lesser team yet. I'm actually going to do an HSV save. I'm going to start it this afternoon. So test the tactic on there. So I thought it'd be good to try it with a team that I'm starting with from scratch in the first season, and then see how it gets on with that. And there might be there might be a few changes for that team that are different from this team. I might not have a complete forward. I might not have people with the right feet to play these sort of roles. So we'll have a look and see how it goes from there. But like I said, with all my tactics, with anything, just use them as a template. Just see how they work. I've made them for that particular team that I'm playing with, and that's the reason why they've come out like they did, because I'm trying to play to the strengths of the team. I mean, the reason I switched this one over this time, he's not so good at crossing, so it makes more sense for him to cut inside with the ball, even though he's got that trait I want to get rid of. Whereas he can cross a bit better, so for him to come inside and just be passing here doesn't really make much sense. So, just change it for your team, and hopefully you do well with it. Any questions, just ask in the comments. I'm always happy to sort of reply.